What's up, guys? As you can see, I am back in sunny Florida. I just returned from a 5-day fishing trip on the Chippewa Flowage in northern Wisconsin, up in Big Woods, northern Wisconsin. So I took my dad up there for a father and son fishing trip for his 70th birthday. It's my dad, TY. He's in a lot of my videos. So I put together this little montage, this little kind of recap of our trip. We had some ups and downs. We had some struggles. And I think if you're a fisherman, maybe you can relate. So enjoy this video of us Florida boys fishing in the big north woods of Wisconsin. So this is an aerial map of the Chippewa Flowage. You can see it is just a massive reservoir full of islands and coves, creeks and bays. This is my dad TY and the small cabin we rented. We were staying in the northeast portion of the lake on a little finger where we had boat access, small twin bed, literally just one bedroom and a kitchenette. Now, the first day we booked an 8-hour fishing trip with a guide. This is where, we started to learn a little bit about the reservoir. So we decided to do half of the day fishing for muskie and the other half of the day fishing for other species. So I have to be honest, the guide I was a little disappointed with. I know fishing can be tough, and it was for us this day, but the guide just really didn't seem to be super motivated to have us on board. He didn't seem to be very enthusiastic on trying to put us on some fish. But we learned a lot. This is Dad, TY, trying to do the figure 8 with these giant musky rods. We're using these big swim baits and topwater baits, huge heavy-duty bait casters. We do some saltwater fishing, but this is some heavy-duty tackle for a lake.
You're doing good, though. I like what you're doing. Red goggle eye. A bunch of rock bass here.
So with the guide, we only caught a few rock bass, a couple crappie, and 1 or 2 very small walleye. We learned a lot about the lake, though, and we had our rental boat so that we could begin fishing on our own the rest of the week. All right, TY, we got a video. Is that what do you got?
Smallmouth, bronze back.
Bronze back. Hold him sideways.
How about that? Okay, huh?
Just a little guy, but pretty fish. Turn into the sun a little. There you go.
Look at that big feller. We want some that's twice this big.
The lake itself is absolutely beautiful. One of the prettiest lakes I've ever been on. So we started exploring and trying to catch more fish.
We gotta go that way.
What are we doing, TY?
Trolling. We're doing my grouper tactics.
Overcast morning. Water temp is about 64 degrees.
Air temperature is 56.
We really wanted to catch walleye since that's the main species we don't have anywhere near Florida. So we tried a lot of different tactics. This is kind of in that fall transition. This was mid to late September when we were there. We tried trolling. We tried, fishing for them deep. We tried fishing in the weed beds and shallow. Never really could figure them out, but again, we learned a lot and we're catching some fish, just not quite what we hoped for. But look at these views. I mean, the fall colors were in place. The weather was phenomenal. Low winds, clear skies, temperatures were crisp and clean in the morning. Right, I mean, it was really nice. What you doing?
Fishing.
Alright.
Got a brand new rod.
Yeehaw.
I threw my other one in the lake. Had to go buy a new one.
That's a bit of an inside joke there. Dad had a 2-piece travel rod, and when he was re-rigging, one of the extension pieces actually fell overboard, so we had to go buy a new rod. If you're a fisherman, I'm sure you can relate to that. Hold it up. Let's see your catch. So the part of Florida we're from, we don't have beavers anywhere around here, so this was kind of a cool find for us. It was a big beaver log floating on a bog. But this is what we did a lot of our afternoons. We just drove the boat around, we explored. We mainly fished with artificials. We did try some minnows, we did try suckers with the guide. But this is an example of, kind of the shoreline and the lake. We were picking up some bluegill, some crappie, and some small walleye here and there. All right, TY, what you got? A little video here.
Bluegill, the biggest bluegill of the trip.
That's a good one.
On worms.
Okay, there.
We've got 85 billion bluegills at home, and we come to Wisconsin to catch them.
That's a pretty bluegill, though. How big is that? It's probably 8.5, 9.
3/4 a pound.
Now we're talking. All right, that is a keeper, respectable walleye there.
Is that too close?
No, it ain't, because I'm like zoomed out. What do you think?
Cool deal. I told you this felt a little bigger.
Yep.
He might bust 15.
Hold him sideways a little bit. There you go. There, get that fin. Oh, they unhooked them. Right. Get that fin. We were both pretty excited about that walleye because that was the first keeper of the trip that we caught. Most of them were very, very small. But again, here's some other footage of us exploring the lake. You know, the boat rental that we had was fantastic. It was a 17-foot Lund with a trolling motor.
These fish after 12-pound bass. I don't think this would be a keeper.
Yeah.
In even Florida. 10-inch minimum in Florida, most places.
We did see a lot of wildlife on the lake, on the actual Chippewa Flowage itself, and then driving, you know, some of the back county roads. It's a pretty rural area of northern Wisconsin. This is a big group of wild otters that we saw one morning when we were leaving to go fishing. Really, really cool. You can see them kind of looking back at us. Look at them looking at us. That's cool. All right. You know what they say about otters. We also saw a lot of wild turkeys, gobblers, and hens. Here's a group of, I think, 3 or 4 jakes that were just literally feeding right along the lake shoreline. A lot of turkeys in that area, which Dad and I are big turkey hunters, so we're already talking about going back to do a turkey hunting trip. We also saw a ton of bald eagles. I believe this is a juvenile eagle sunning its wings. Saw a lot of loons, a lot of wildlife. So how did we do overall? How was the trip? Well, we definitely caught some fish. A lot of them were small, but we were able to get a couple new species, including walleye, smallmouth bass, and I even caught a northern pike. All those we do not have here in Florida. So the fishing was a little bit below our expectations. It was difficult. It's a big lake and it's intimidating. But the camaraderie was fantastic. It was to celebrate my dad's 70th birthday. We got to go to a state we've never been before. We learned some new fishing techniques, and we got humbled a little bit, which is important as an angler, because fishing takes a lot of effort and practice and patience, and even the best fishermen have bad days. But overall, we were blessed with great weather. We caught some fish, we made some memories, and really enjoyed it. So I hope this video helps you if you're planning a trip. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions, and thanks so much for watching. See you guys.